I would.
Too sexy. Come on, what was
Everyone
that?
would know.
I'm just saying, man. I would never. I don't think anybody wants to see what's underneath my clothes, only because it's
Well,
just
my
think
taco
it's
meat
weird.
would be popping.
Stupid.
Hey, you know what?
My taco
But
meat.
hey, what is it though? But aren't you married, Max? Someone wants to see your body. You know,
Well, I'm just saying, like that's she's like obliged, like she has to because my whole no she has to because I'm so crippling. I
This ain't
can't.
Africa. No, I'm joking.
I can't handle judgment. I can only handle what she could say about. I mean, I don't want.
We get too many details now, man. We get too many details.
All right. Anyways, man, I just want to make sure y'all are good. First of all,
Do you hit your wife? Blink twice. Do you hit your wife? Blink twice.
No.
Are you safe?
No, is she safe? That's the question.
Yes, she's safe.
Well, yeah, she's safe. She's living and breathing. Anyways, but in a cellar somewhere.
She's
But
in
no,
the closet.
Oh, that's why you're not home. Oh, okay, I get
yeah.
it.
See, I have to travel around. I have
I
to
haven't
find
seen
another
Marquis in a
wife.
while, to be honest. I'll just check up on it later.
Stop. But no, yeah. No, I just want to say everybody's good, corona free. That stuff is still happening. I don't know how it's been affecting you guys mentally. If you guys have been, if it's like a norm for y'all now.
I read an article recently that said you get corona fatigue because you've been doing so much and you're still trying to keep yourself away from it and working and having to be affected by corona, just not necessarily physically, but mentally being burned out, trying to stay safe. That can happen, and I get it. Sometimes it happens though, man, because I know I work my job and then I'm still doing the work of others and doing the work of trying to stay safe for everybody.
Yeah.
Getting cursed out every day is not cool, but at the end of the day, it's like, hey, I'm just trying to keep everybody safe. I get it, man.
Yeah. Nah, bro. I think just the mental strain of always that, not mental strain, but I think it's just like you said, the fatigue behind it. Because the mask thing, I don't mind. But after a while, man, it's like second nature for me. But at the same time, like, I don't feel like wearing this shit right now, man.
It irritates my cheeks, like wearing the string there all the time. So
all this area right here, my lips and all that, I hate that feeling.
I can't show off my beard.
Yo.
You know what? I gotta say, I love it. Just
really?
People can't see my face. When I'm outside, my glasses turn to shades.
Cause you're fucking thief's theme walking like you ready to rob somebody.
You know how many people clutch their purses when they see me? They can't even write a prescription.
You sure that's not for another reason?
You know how many women walk the other side, go to the other side of the sidewalk because of me?
They don't even know I work at a secret base.
You got your Timbs on too when you doing it?
You got the Timbs on, ready to curb stomp them off.
I only own Timbs.
All right, man. Anyways, that's a
the cheese and what is it? I got the steak and broccolis. What is it?
You got the steak and broccoli. What else you got?
No, man.
Beef and broccolis. Beef and broccolis.
The beef and broccoli.
Beef and broccoli. That's what it is. My bad. The beef and broccoli.
Oh my god, man. I don't even
beef and broccoli's on, bro.
I don't want to know, man. I really don't. Anyways, yes, this is Media Marauders. I hope y'all appreciate our little intro, so we don't hurry up and just flash through everything. But yeah, we're back. People that were here before, the ones that keep coming back, subscribers, just people that just want to follow, listen, step away from Corona. This is us. We're entertainment. We're trying to escape our own ways. So indulge with us. So we're back. Media Marauders. This is Max.
I see Moo.
Thomas, Mo, Thomas, King, and James. Welcome back, fellas, man. It's great to see y'all. See that y'all are healthy, everything's straight, family's good, I'm assuming. Mental health is good, I'm assuming. So we're gonna get right into it. Bear with me. I'm a little slow on the uptake. I'm kind of tired. I had a rough day today, so please bear with me. But
no,
okay. Anyways, you're going to anyways. But I want to kind of get into an old discussion that we got into a couple episodes back, and it's a bit of an update. Well, it is an update with Dave Chappelle. Everything that's happening with Dave Chappelle. I don't know if you gentlemen have been hearing, seeing the news, anything about it, but Dave Chappelle just released another video, just like his Unforgiven. I think his Unforgiven episode he came out with, I want to say back in December or January.
Mm-hmm.
Was it around that time? Anyways, he released another video.
Like last week.
Was it no, I'm talking about the first video.
First one.
The first one.
I think that was back in. I think it was back in December. Yeah, I think that was back in December. I was back in San Diego. Yeah, I was back in December. But he just released another video called Redemtion Song, and it's pretty much. I saw it like an acceptance speech like when you're getting an award type of thing. Like it's very congratulatory. If no one, if the ones that haven't known or don't know here or out in the ether, Dave Chappelle has gotten his money, his just dues from Capcom/Viacom, and because he never owned his name after the Chappelle show. He never owned his name after the Chappelle show. He didn't get the money. He didn't get the just dues for it, as in show like his episodes being played from whatever station. He wasn't getting the money for that. So it just came through that he got all the rights back. Netflix, all the streaming services, Netflix and HBO Max now have the Chappelle show on there once again. And I kind of want to touch up a little bit on the speech and then get into possible controversy behind it as well, or possible controversy from all of this. And starting off with this speech, or just a little bit what I can, there's a quote that he said during this speech. It was within the first 15 seconds. And it's when a hero stumbles, the cowards rejoice. And that resonated with me because it kind of made me think of comic book heroes, and just, you know, people in general, where whenever they're doing good, there's people out there on the sidelines that are waiting for some kind of downfall, some kind of mistake, so they can hurry up, rub it in your face, and demonize you, ostracize you, and just say those words, "I told you so." And I think with this congratulatory speech, with this acceptance speech, it was more of a sense of, that's how I saw it. It was more of a sense of accepting that there's people out there that want to see you fail, but still getting your just dues that you feel you deserve. Where he thanks his real bosses, which is us, the fans, and on another humbling moment for I would think a lot of entertainers seeing that, or even riding on that kind of humility kind of standpoint. And I appreciate it. I've always liked Dave Chappelle. Watching him speak has always been like it's like a craft that I would love to perfect my damn self. So yeah, it was good. Have y'all seen it? Have y'all seen that video?
I was watching it soon.
Yeah, I saw the day drop
tonight now.
Yeah, it's good. It's 10 minutes out of your time. It's a great speech. He does an amazing job of just, he starts off with that quote and gets into everything that happened over at Capitol Hill over in Washington with, you know, those terrorists going in and destroying
terrorists.
Yeah,
Right.
like he segued into that, and he got into Edward Snowden. Yeah. I don't know if you guys know of him, look him up, but he's the biggest or the most famous whistleblower within the U.S. government. Yeah, one of the biggest whistleblowers in the U.S. government. And if you're interested about him, look him up. I'm not gonna get too much into it, like I said. But yeah, this speech, man, this video, this presentation, he's just good. I'm sorry.
He's artful. I'm trying to figure out how he does it so well. He could basically just do it off the cuff and just talk. And next thing you know, you're just like gravitated to listen to him, depending on like, you know, what he's saying. Or even if you're not listening, all of a sudden he could say some trigger words and you're like, hold on, let me pay attention to what he's saying.
Yes.
Simple reason.
Yes.
I can tell you exactly how he does it. Master. He's been doing it since he's in 16 or so.
Yeah, he was young.
But there's a lot of people that still can't do it, and they've been trying to do it since that age. Though, like I feel there's talent, plus he's putting the hard work, so that has made him perfect it.
I think if you hear him talk, it's all hard work. A lot of people say they put in the hard work, but are they? Are they taking the time to self-reflect, look at what they're doing, and readjusting? I think he takes the time to go in there, study what he did. He loves what he does to the point where he's putting in that hard work. Those 10,000 hours plus at this point. Like,
sorry, go ahead.
Plus, like any chance he gets, he's on a stage. Like, if we lived in one of those cities where, you know, they had like those comedy clubs, if he's in town, there's a good chance he's gonna just kind of pop in and do what he does.
I remember seeing one of his videos where he was just in like small comedy club, and I was like, yo, this is crazy. You made it so far, but you still go to these places. Yeah. Like, I respect that too. Like, I definitely do. Like, you go back to where your roots are. Like, it keeps you grounded, and I think it keeps you fresh as well.
It's a humbling experience just watching this guy speak, man, and just from like you were saying, like for him to go to these little, like to one of our little rinky-dink, no offense to where we stay at, but we have comedy clubs nearby where we live, and for him to walk into an establishment like that with no kind of prior notice to anybody just walking in and let me just have 10 minutes of the audience's time just to talk. That's going to be the highlight for me. Those 10 minutes of my life is going to be a highlight for me, because just to see this man speak, it's because we're on a public platform. This is a public platform for us. We talk about things that we enjoy. We talk about things we don't like. We say some erroneous shit. We might say some clever shit, but to see a man or someone at this caliber to speak on, and I get really like inspirational with that shit. Like, it's really nice to watch this guy take over a room, speak about his mind, and then also get it to the point where it's just, he's charismatic as fuck. I appreciate a certain charisma that you could hold people to a standard and expect results. And I love that shit. Always have.
Have you ever watched like any of the older comics like Lenny Bruce and them?
Mm-mm.
Yeah, I put him up there with them, like up there with the originals. I'm not as much as a fan of Dice Clay, but Chappelle is up there. You know, who else can I put up there with him? Make him, Eddie Murphy.
Yeah, people definitely.
Eddie
I mean,
Murphy's so raw.
You the connoisseur king. What do you think?
Well, in the humor aspect of things, from my personal opinion, Dave Chappelle definitely does demand that respect. And I think it's because of the fact that at one point in time, he took the hiatus from Comedy Central, and then he didn't come on anyone else's time but his own. I think it shows the respect and the admiration of his fan base. Like, they knew he was gone. They were like, he's gonna come back sooner or later, but he was still relevant when he wasn't even doing anything. And I think that's where he has that power to be able to do that. From a comedic standpoint, I think that he does definitely have that same respect, such as Eddie Murphy, who disappeared for a long time and came back and did a movie, and he still gained that same respect, and he started doing movies again. So now we're seeing Eddie Murphy kind of almost do the same thing as Dave Chappelle, where he's come back with Coming to America Part 2.
Mm-hmm.
Dave Chappelle, in this essence, I paralleled them to them because of the fact that Dave Chappelle maybe took a different term of hiatus, but he did it on his own terms, and he said he was going to come back until he was ready to do so. And so Chappelle, in the aspect of being an orator, as you said, I think it's just that aspect of him being able to demand that respect and command it without trying. So you don't see him over flexing himself to be like, oh, y'all need to listen to me because I know such and such. He comes off as being the type person saying, all right, I'm going to tell you a story. You listen or you don't. But at the end of the day, he gets you that attention to tell you that story, and you gain something from it.
That's excellent point. And that's a great point. Yeah, because that's actually segues into another portion that I want to get into with this whole triumphant moment for Chappelle, but also possibly contradictive towards other potential comedians that have gone through something similar to this and have not gotten anything close to that kind of recognition or respect that they deserve.
Right.
So with Dave Chappelle winning this and gaining this in his favor and getting the money that he rightfully deserves, what is the negative to this, if y'all have any?
Well, does an artist have a negative?
I don't think it's necessarily about the artist aspect having a negative. It's I think what Maximo was trying to allude to is, for instance, him complaining, not necessarily complaining, but making a plight that he didn't get his royalties for what he was supposed to be doing, but then put his work out there to where someone else is making money off him. He should have been getting that money in the first place, but he didn't because of how he left Comedy Central. So his show wasn't in his rights, but he made a complaint now to try to get the money from that show, which is aired respectively through Netflix or HBO Max, whichever one it is. Yeah. But I guess if you were to put it in comparison to, say, a Monique, where she made an uproar and everyone was like, what you complaining for? You didn't read the contract. Yeah. The only thing I can really say to that is I think that's just a more aspect of someone's fan base. We let certain people get away with things because of the fact that their fan base is going to say, I get it, he's doing such and such, but then you compare it to someone else and it's like, oh, I mean, was he or she really that popular and we don't really care about that person? And it's just being honest from my perspective. I think that's what it is from my perspective.
I think it goes into, just like you said, just status. Like, you could do the exact same thing in sports. Like, oh, you throw a flag for this person getting touched because this person has as high of a status, or they able to say, hey man, that person fouled me. And next thing you know, they're calling the foul like after the fact, and you're looking like, yo, what's happening? But everybody else is like newer to the game or not as top tier per se, like no disrespect to anybody. They don't get the same respect or just like the same judgment in that aspect. And it goes through like throughout a lot of things in life. Like, you know, when you're talking to a judge, a cop, is like just everything. I think it revolves around that. But I think that even though that's like a negative aspect, I think that since this has happened, more people might be able to do it, because I feel like he might have just like broken the bounds. Like, you know, like he might have opened doors for this. Hopefully he has, but at the same time, people going like, yo, what type of legacy do you have? Like, what are you commanding? Like, what profit can you still bring me in? So I got a question about that. Did nobody paid him back for what they had already like aired, but he's getting paid for the future? Like, does that explain?
I don't think he answered it.
Okay.
What I think, because I think the issue was that these streaming services are playing his shit and he's not getting nothing from it.
Yeah.
So I think it's sort of like a sitcom like Friends, for example. And I know you had something, Tom, so please keep that thought. But it's sort of like Friends, the sitcom, where if you played on any kind of station, they're getting royalties for that still. No matter where it's being played, they're getting money for that. So I'm thinking it's on the sense of that when it comes to the Chappelle Show being streamed on Netflix and HBO Max. Like, I guess a certain number of episodes they're allowed to have. And with that, he gets paid a certain maybe monthly, yearly type of thing. I'm not too sure.
Right.
But go ahead, Thomas.
But like I was gonna say, like, well, like if you tried, like, if say we were to compare what he has going on with like Monique's situation, because I think that's the one that probably comes to most people's minds. The way he did it was completely different. I remember Monique's interview on The Breakfast Club. That did not hit the same way as Chappelle's interview. Like, even I'm one of those people too. I'm like, I'm a more of a fan of, you signed the contract, it is what it is. But he opened the floodgates for some of these people.
Right. Like James said.
But like with Monique, I remember she was complaining, or she was making the statement that she believes she's worth more money than what people are willing to give her. She wasn't going back asking for the royalty. She was saying, I'm worth this amount of money. And people were not seeing her as worth that amount of money, which is a fair thing for her to say. Like, all right, cool, bet. But then the people who should have had her back, which I believe that's what Dave Chappelle also kind of alluded to in his stand-up. Or his video. They were like, you know, probably the same people telling her, you need to, you know, sit down and take what you're going to get. And he made the right decision by going to the consumers, the fans, and say, hey, you know, this was going on behind the scenes. Please don't watch the show on Comedy Central's website because they're not paying me. And when
like, you're a real fan. I was going to say, my bad for interrupting you. Like, if you're a real fan, like if you respect that person, you'll do that for them. Like, yo, I understand your plight. Like, if you really understand it, and then he's like, okay, I can do this. And that's
I'm gonna be honest.
Because you know who your consumer is. You know who got you where you were at. You know, like if you didn't have any fans, where would you be at?
Yeah.
And him doing that route, and compared to her route's more so like, pay me. And, you know, it's easy for the companies to be like, all right, whatever, we'll just find someone else. His route equals, oh, now we're taking a hit in our pocket. And anytime you get people anytime people gather together and say, hey, the majority doesn't like what you're doing, the minority is going to fold. Simple as that. It's they could have tried to be stubborn with it, but at the end of the day, it's costing them money. So,
I see him holding he has a certain respect within the entertainment business, especially not even just the comedic standpoint, like not even just on a comedic point, actor point, like he's just a figure now. Like, this man has made somewhat history, if not history. He's made possibly history within the business world, the entertainment business world, behind the TV screen, who's sitting behind these desks, these big wigs, these conglomerate businesses. Like, he made Viacom fold. Like, I'm not gonna say he made them fold, but Viacom is one of the biggest. I'm not gonna put out false information, but I'm pretty sure Viacom is one of the biggest conglomerates within the entertainment world.
They are.
Yeah,
They
they own
Yeah.
a lot of these TV shows, a lot of businesses, like a lot of things outside of TV shows and entertainment. And for him to be able to rub elbows with these big wigs and getting the respect that he feels he needs and is resonating with other people in that field, that kind of means something, fellas.
But see, think about it too, though. He did not attack Viacom that whole time.
Yeah, you're right.
He went after a specific branch of Viacom. He's like, I'm going after Comedy Central, not because his beef wasn't with Viacom, because I believe his deal was signed before they were bought by Viacom. So the people who were there, like he said, the people who were there didn't even have anything to do with that terrible deal. They gave him a rap deal back in the day because they still
360 deal, yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, I know if you don't have any standing yet, like, big companies, of course, they can put you around. Like, you want to get paid, you want to be able to have a job, you want to be able to make money, be able to, push off or show your product. But like, after you make so much money for that company, like, sometimes you got to think like, well, they're doing this much for me. Maybe it's in my best interest if I want to continue to make money off this person to maybe have a loop in the contract. Like, oh, you made this threshold. Hey, maybe we can renegotiate. But I mean, they don't have to do that because they can just say, hey, I don't want to give you any more money. But they can end up losing money in the long run at the same time, depending on their fan base or what it is. So
and that's what happened. Yeah,
that's business.
And he won that game. I don't know. We don't know the fine details. We probably never will, or we don't need to know. It's just the fact this dude won. That's all it is in the end. Y'all feel me? Like he got to the point where he did something where a man of his background was able to achieve. You know what I mean? And that's a tally on that wall that a good majority of minorities would never have.
I was thinking about that too. Being a minority and pulling that off, like, I'm trying to think like who else has really done that. Like,
that goes to show, like, owning your masters. Well, your craft,
owning your name, masters, you performance.
Like the Wayans brothers, Robert Townsend, and them came before them. They made sure they owned, like when the Wayans brothers were dealing with Viacom, TV over the scary movies, and like, oh, cool, y'all want to do this crazy stuff with it? We walk. Look what happened. When was the last good scary movie? 2, maybe.
2 is the last one in my opinion.
But they on number 5 or something that people were just like, y'all still making those?
Yeah, they own the name, so they kept it moving.
So they parted ways, but it's the name of the game.
Right.
All right.
But yeah, I mean, that's if y'all have more, go for it, man. I thought it was an interesting topic, and I know there can be there's potential cons to this, or depending on the person that's looking into the lens, there could be a certain concept, but it could be like Dave Chappelle, the ones that are waiting for you to fail. That could be the only con. Those could be the people that see a bad in this.
That's the thing. I don't think some of them were waiting for. Well, he did say some were waiting for the fail, but he did talk about people being scared to get theirs, and get theirs. Which is truth of the matter is there are a lot of people that aren't going to ruffle a feather to get what they want. They're just going to sit there and take it. So
because they might not end up getting paid at all at the end of the day, or like not being shown anymore, and then they lose all their money or like all the deals that they possibly could have. They could be blacklisted, and I think people are scared of that too.
It's called whitelisted.
It's called whitelisted. Okay, yes.
The white people put it on the
list. I'll give you that.
Yeah.
Still Black History Month.
Yeah. We got a week in a couple days.
I will say, for people, you should always look into how we came up with 5-day work weeks in the United States. People should always look into how we came up with the 5-day work week in the United States.
I've been wondering about this.
It's something people should look into, because this ain't that type of podcast. So
sounds like brainwashing.
Oh, it's not. It's not.
I mean, we're all over the place, but I get it.
Sprinkle a little salt here. A little pepper.
But all right. Thank you, fellas. Yeah, I just wanted to get that out the way. I just want to say one more time, Dave Chappelle, if you ever do come across this video, we love you out here. We're glad you made your paper. and we give you our support. We're one of your bosses too, man. Let me stop. We're one of your fans too. That's what he said. That's what he said. What'd you say?
You out here bootlegging his videos.
Nah, bro. I saw Netflix jokes. I saw that shit. No, don't try to play me. No, but yes, congratulations, sir. And I'll pass the torch whoever wants to go next. Let's get it.
So I'm gonna do a follow-up now. Last week we were talking about Alice in Borderland that I watched, or Arisu in Borderland. So I did finish the show as I said I would. And
okay.
This is just This is just the first season of it. This is just the first season of it. And like honestly, the show got better from like, the start to the finish, because like it started off kind of slow because you just see them wandering around like, where the heck is this going? We see, is this a slice of life or what? Like, and next thing you know, they're in a game. People are dying. You got to play the game if you don't want to die, and you can die in the game. It's all about survival of almost the fittest at this point. It was like, how good are you at mastering the game? Because you don't know what the rules are until you finally pick up the card and you get the phone to start the game. And as it progresses, more people are introduced. You see different characters. Everybody has their own motive, but everybody wants to live. But, some people are putting their status above others. And once you get to finally, like, midway through, you get to a scene where there's like a whole group of people that's working together to gather the cards. And they think this is the way to get out of the game. Because as I explained before, going back, when you play in the game, you get a card. The card can have, it's a different suit of a deck of cards. And depending on how the number is, depends on how hard the game is, and depending on the type of suit, depends on the type of game it is. Like, heart messes with your heart. Then you got spades, that's like action, and then you got some other, you got diamond and you got clubs. So based off that, like you got the different decks, but it never showed anybody ever getting a face card. So this includes like the ace of spades, the king, the queen, the jack. So essentially, they're thinking like, hey, maybe these cards could not exist. Not to give any spoilers, you find it out if you finish watching the first season, and everybody just playing. They just want to collect the cards once they finally get to, this conglomerate or a group of people trying to help each other out to get through the game. And you have people that start getting ranked at different levels, just like, it's kind of like anarchy. If we lose our government, somebody's going to rise to power. It could be the person that's the most charismatic or that gets to a certain place at the same time. And everybody's like, you know what, let's just follow him because we can just fall in line. It's easier for that person to lead. That person wants to do it. That person wants to do it. You have the rules that you have to stay in line with that, though. There's definitely consequences to it. So it definitely showed that. It played on people's emotions.
Yes.
There's backstabbing in it.
Yes.
Of course,
Yes.
everybody like tied with their hearts, like, who can trust who? You don't know what's going to happen. And at the end, you're like, what? Like, seriously? Or what's next? Like, you want to know what's next. That's the one thing they really did. They were really good at. They thought it made you think that you was possibly getting to somewhere, some conclusion, possibly. Then they say, hey, guess what? Next season.
There's this motherfucker. Drop that shit on you too. No, and not to stay on the lawn, but and not to even be spoilery, but did you like how it ended the first season?
Yeah, I like how the first season ended. I was wondering where it was going, but I like how they were building certain stuff up. I admit that like they can make certain scenes over dramatic, but I understand what they're trying to express, and that's the way they're doing it, and they definitely pull it off well. I'm just not so used to seeing so much of it. But at the same time, you get used to it once you watch the season. As you're watching it, you're like, okay, you expect it now. Like, what's going to happen next? Who's going to do what? Who's going to backstab who? It's like playing a game of cards, and you're all on your own team. So
Uno.
It's like Uno. It's like playing Uno.
Yeah, for real. It doesn't. It doesn't. All right. All right. It does a good job of keeping the tension. And I don't watch a lot of Japanese dramas. I don't watch a lot of I've seen TV dramas within the US because that's where we're from. So going outside of my country, I don't know how over the top these shows get, but
I'm not from America. So try again.
Well, I'm just saying, well, we live in America, so our media is we're usually bold.
I like
Yes.
watching London TV shows. Just
All right. I'm just saying, like, there's a certain level of tension and maybe overly dramatic scenes that certain countries could do differently than us. So, like, it might look a little off to us, but even with certain animes that I watch, especially with Monster that I mentioned before, the tension that they show, the over hyper tension, like it's like a norm, I guess. I don't know. I'm just assuming.
Okay.
But yeah, it's a good one.
Yeah.
I think I try it out. I have to watch it after I get done watching Inuyasha.
Yeah, you definitely gotta watch it. My next one that I'm gonna start is not Uncanny Counter. That's gonna happen, but I'm gonna watch Sweet Home. I started the very beginning of that, and I was like, "What the heck?" All right,
yeah,
I
both
get
of
like
them are really good.
10 minutes of it, and I was like, "All right, hold on, I must come back to this and start this." So I'm gonna start that this week.
Both of them are really good. Home and Uncanny Uncanny Counter, both Korean productions, and I like it. Korea is a great, like they're doing great with their live action stuff.
So you want to go to North Korea is what you're saying? Okay.
Oh no, hell no! I never wanted to go there. Why would I be disrespectful?
What if so bad? Max said, "Oh hell, I'm not."
No. I don't have any beef with anywhere in Korea. So yeah. But no, all right. Thank you, James. We're gonna go ahead and do a quick commercial break. We'll be right back. So just stay tuned. And we're back. Once again, thank you, James, with that quick little Alice in Borderlands spiel. I'm glad you enjoyed the first season. Hopefully that second season will be just as good. And the announcement will be on it too. But all right, let's head over to King. What you got for us, man?
So last time we all got together, I promised I'd do something different. So I hadn't watched a movie in a long time. So I thought I'd watch an updated movie, or should I say a movie that came out this year that I thought was actually pretty decent, to be honest with you. It's one of the old school Disney movies. They got turned live action. Mulan.
Oh, you watched Mulan? Oh,
Yeah, I did actually. I did watch it. I
Okay.
actually gave it on my Twitter account. I guess we'll get that sub somewhere on the bottom of my screen if our editor / chief in editing / cool guy over there, Mr. Random, will put something there for us. Maybe not. I don't know.
Hint.
I gave it an A, to be honest with you.
What? You gotta explain why. I'm very surprised at this.
I'm not gonna lie to you. Like I said, it's from my perspective. I gave it an A. The reason I gave it an A was honestly because of the representation of it. I thought it was really well done. The colorful aspect of it, I kind of gave it a comparison to Hero almost, the movie Hero, the one with Jet Li.
Oh, okay.
The only reason I did that was because it was so colorful. Like you could really point out all of the green, all of the blue, all the red. There was no lackluster in design there, in my personal opinion. Or even if it was a live action shot or CGI, they really did a great job of it. I even thought the Phoenix was real for a minute because it was just so floating everywhere in the movie. They've seen it, but it's a nice good look. I thought there was going to be. I tried to figure out how they were going to introduce Mushu into it, the Eddie Murphy character. So, but they didn't add him in there, which I had no problem with. I thought it was pretty good for that, but I just liked the originality of it and the different perspective they gave the movie. So, the animated version, there was a villain. Well, that's a stupid thing to say. Animated version, the villain was not the same as the villain in the live action rendition of it. So taking out Mushu was one of the things I thought was pretty interesting, but they added another character to it, to the movie. I'm gonna say her name wrong because I know I am. Lee Gong as I'm gonna spell it out instead because I don't want to say it wrong. I'm a murderer.
Nah, you're trying. You're not trying to be disrespectful.
XIANNING. So I thought it was pretty interesting. They introduced her as they called her a witch. But in this case, I thought her abilities to shapeshift were pretty dope, and just giving a different villain aspect to the movie. And so you had your warlord that was trying to take over the feudal, take over that point in time and get his revenge, but also give revenge for the sorcerer / witch as well. Which I thought was pretty cool. I had no problem with that. What I didn't realize in the movie though was that everybody's favorite IP man, Donnie Hugh, was in it. I didn't even realize, to be honest with you, until I looked at it. I was like, Donnie Hugh's in this movie? and he's actually the general, General Tong. So in the movie, so I was like,
okay.
Sorry, Commander Tong. So it kind of threw me. I was like, and not being funny, like I said, and I hate to say this because sometimes even black people and white people get the same thing. But when we watch Asian movies, sometimes we tend to say, that's that one guy, but he looks like someone else. And like, I want to be that guy. But for comedic purposes, in my mind, I was like, I've seen him in so many movies. And that was wrong by the movies I thought about. I was like, he was in Red Part 2, right? No, he wasn't. He wasn't in RED 2. He wasn't. That wasn't him. No, that wasn't the guy. So he was in G.I. Joe, right? No, it wasn't him. It wasn't the guy in G.I. Joe either. So I was wrong for that. But Donahue, I was really surprised he didn't get a chance. Well, he got a chance to show off his martial arts skills, but he didn't really use it in this case. So I thought it was pretty interesting just having him in that. And also Jet Li was in a damn movie. And
I was going to ask if he was in the movie.
Yeah, talking about Hero, wow. He was actually in the movie. He was actually the king in this case. And I thought about it, I was like, why? And I remember I told you earlier, the colors were so flamboyant. Like in my mind, I was like, I know who that is, but I just can't see because the colors. My TV is very bright too. So at the same time, there was a scene where they show the king in all his glory and the bright light behind him, as if he was like just pretty much a king in all his glory and all the gold and everything around him. You couldn't see him just really from there. So I was like, I couldn't see, and I thought who it was until later in the movie when I finally saw his face. I was like, yeah, that's Jet Li. Now I see him, and so having him in the movie was pretty star-studded in that case as well. So
kind of like a cameo.
No, it wasn't a cameo. Not at all.
Oh, wasn't it? Okay.
But he had a full role.
He was definitely in it. He was in it for a good amount of time.
Oh, okay.
I gave it an A, like I said, because of the fact that I thought the key aspects of it, the representation, it was very colorful. The storyline, I gave it a little I gave it a little leeway because of the fact that in the real life version of it now, I understand where she was trying to hide her femininity from the clan and everything, and she did things that would make you think, okay, I understand why she's doing it. She didn't want nobody to see her, and she was doing things that would make sense in my mind anyway, common sense type things to make sure she made sure she didn't undress in front of nobody. She took night shifts to work so nobody would see her undressed when everybody was asleep and everything. So I was like, okay, it makes complete sense to me. I thought it made sense. And so then, like I said, but there were some stupid parts in it. Now we'll talk about it because I know me and my wife were talking about it. I was like, why the fuck she do that? It's not a movie. So I'm like, they do that, huh? So there's things of that nature. But like I said, I really thought it was a good movie because of the storyline of it, the representation, the colorful aspect of it all, and the hidden characters that you don't. Once I look back at it of everything and saw who was in it, I was like, okay, this really makes sense as far as storyline, who they chose to play these characters as well. So I thought it was an A out of everything else, in my personal opinion. But I think we were speaking off camera, and I think Mr. Random said there was a couple of things that there were some debates or someone was going at it on the show or on the movie, something like that.
There was some controversy.
That's what I'm looking for.
Yeah, there was some controversy because the main actress, Louis Yife, she, I want to say it was like when China kind of took back over. Was it Beijing? No, not Beijing.
I'm not good at world history or government, so I ain't gonna lie to you.
Hong Kong. Was it Hong Kong? Yeah, that whole situation kind of sparked some issues there because she kind of backed China, her country, and people were kind of mad at her over that. Well, actually, no, people were really pissed at her. Over that,
talking about as far as the trading goes, like with the United States, talking about something else.
No, I want to say Hong Kong is now back under China, and people of Hong Kong did not want that. So
it wasn't really about the movie. It was just about her and her personal life back in Hong Kong, and then people were like, "Oh, fuck Mulan." What is anyway?
So that could affect the actual movie selling as well. Then
that mess with
that aspect of it,
and it messed with the sales over here because I think that's also the time when people wanted LeBron James to say something when.
Oh yeah. Okay. So, I remember now. Okay, I got you. From that perspective, I got it. Okay.
How does?
Because you'd be surprised who has stock in the NBA.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, I remember. Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I guess in the aspect of that is just I thought, like I said. So what about you, James? I say you didn't think it was an A. I'm sorry.
I haven't watched it yet, but since you gave me details that they actually took the storyline and they switched it up and they just didn't make it just like the book in an animated version, I have, and it's a different story, but still telling the story of Mulan, I'm more likely to watch it now because they were just copying the animated version and they didn't have Mushu and the cricket in it. Like I was gonna I felt some type of way about that, and especially since it was a live action, I was like, they don't have them in any of the previews. How are they doing this? But since they changed the storyline and the plots overall, I'm like, okay, now I can go watch the movie and understand that, like, hey, this is not just following straight up animated version. Like, some people might have had an issue with, like, when we was talking about Lupin, following like directly with the books and everything like that. But Netflix just took their own, they went their own way with it. Like, it's based off of, but they wasn't following it exactly. So I can deal with that.
Right, and I'm from reading it now. The director Nikki Caro and writer Nick Jaffe apparently, or Jaffa, sorry, Rick Jaffa, Amanda Silver, Lauren Hennick, Elizabeth Martin, and some other people. They took a different aspect of the writing. So they kept the core value of her being a woman and wanting to bring honor back to her family, but in the midst of doing so, she dishonored her family, and then being able to gain that honor back from what she was doing in the war. So I think there's a lot of family value in there too for wanting to do the right thing and then messing up in the aspect of doing that. So I think it was pretty good in the aspect of just family. Also, it was a really good family movie too for anybody who want to watch it.
And the other controversy was when they were charging $20 to watch it
Disney
on
Plus to watch. Yeah,
that was the other part of it.
That's I remember that part now. I remember that part. They were like, for this movie, whatever.
That kind of.
I just weighed it out. Apparently, I just weighed it out and still got it. So I'm like, that's fine. I got it.
It's still streaming on Disney Plus right now, right? For free.
Still streaming on Disney Plus.
Okay.
I'm paying for it through Verizon, so I had the free one for like a year.
Yeah, I think that's the thing because I think like that was the first movie that was in theaters to release on like a streaming platform. Like HBO Max, they came in like, we're just gonna release it for free.
What movie?
Disney was like, oh, HBO Max is releasing movies for free now on.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
But like Disney was like, we're gonna charge you even though you're paying for the subscription. People were like, oh no,
that's not.
And look, and people still bought it because Disney just printing money at this point in time. Disney just making money. They're just making their money at this point in time, just like Viacom, just doing what they want to do.
Yeah, we can make people. They already got the fan base. They just say, all right, people don't watch this movie regardless, so we're still gonna make money anyway. So
But did you see that one scene with Beyonce and Mulan? Bruh.
What? What are you talking about?
Not gonna fall for it. No, not gonna fall for it.
Hey, hold on, let me get my phone real quick.
Not gonna fall for
it. You were singing.
Not gonna fool me again, damn it. No, it sucks because I came in because when we did this before we hit the record button, when you said Mulan, I was like, yo, that shit got to be trash, right? And that's just following the sheet, like because people did not want to watch it. There was like some negativity towards this thing, and I was like, and I wasn't really into it because a part of me was being a child, like the nostalgia behind it. I wanted Mushu, I wanted the cricket, I wanted it more. I thought it was gonna be more, CGI. They might have included something, you know what I mean? So I was like, okay, they're just doing historical type of like movie. It's just historical. It's being serious. It's very realistic. It's as realistic as it can be with magic involved. And I don't know, it just didn't appeal.
I think honestly, I'm glad they didn't do the exact same thing as Lion King. Just to be honest, because the live version of Lion King was trash.
I'm not watching.
Beyonce can't act. Ooh, Beehive.
Oh, you better not. You better not.
No subscribers now. Just say,
they got them somewhere out here. Believe me, they will find it.
Man, I remember watching Lion King and I was like, wow, this was trash.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was trash, man. Beyonce sound just like how she does in what movie was that?
Austin Powers.
The one with Eddie Murphy, and was it Cadillac? Was it Cadillac?
I don't think I've seen that one.
Playing the singer.
Yeah, I can't think of what it was now. I literally just watched it too.
Cadillac Records.
Cadillac Records. Yep, I think it was that.
I think that's what it's called.
See, we just had a good Queen Angela Bassett. And then we get Beyonce.
That's a beautiful woman, man. That's a beautiful older woman right there, bro. She is gorgeous.
Cadillac Records.
Cadillac Records. Yeah.
Yep.
All right, so
What?
real quick, what are the pros? I think you probably already said, but what are some of you said some of the cons were it kind of stood
Yeah,
out.
the cons I would say, the 3 cons I would give are Mushu wasn't in it and Cricket wasn't in it, so that was kind of con for that one.
Yeah.
The second con is the there was some scenes in there where you're just like, they can't be this stupid, and they were
Like eye rolling. It's like, okay.
right. It was like, oh, okay, all right. I let it go for some aspect of it. And the third one, my personal opinion was there's an irony in the movie in the beginning and the end, and I was like, okay, that was just all right. But you had to watch it to see it, 'cause I'm not going to ruin it for everybody like I did last time. So you got to watch it to see it. But there's an irony there in the movie. You're just like, okay, that happened in the beginning, and oh, okay.
I have a fourth con for y'all though. The Northern Invaders. Saying,
the what?
The Northern Invaders. Fourth con.
Oh well.
You know about that, boy? That's a smart joke. What you know?
The Northern Invaders. Hold up.
You. Golly.
No, are you talking about? All right, no, because I don't want to. No, I'm not gonna say nothing. Forget it. I'm not gonna say nothing. I'm not gonna say nothing. Nope, I'm good. All right, cool.
King knows.
I don't know nothing.
I do.
I don't
do.
Know that thing.
That's what I'm not gonna say. I'm just gonna leave it. I'm gonna leave it there for invader purposes.
I'm not gonna say shit. I ain't saying a damn thing. No, I ain't saying.
See my lips, right?
Nope, I'm not saying nothing. Anyway,
yes, the cons and the pros of Mulan are really good. I think the pros outweigh the cons, and it's a really good show and really good movie. I think I give it an A. Like I said,
I'll take your word for it. I might check it out one of these lazy days and just fuck it. Say fuck it.
You got time, dog. You got time.
Yeah, I really do. All right, cool. Thanks, King. Yeah, that's Mulan on Disney Plus, right? You can watch it on Disney Plus. That's the only platform.
Yes, you can. And for the foreigners out there, Mulan translated means dragon lady.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Oh,
food for thought. Okay, cool.
Did I know that? No more.
I was this years old.
Don't take my word for it. Don't take my
word. All right. Gonna hate us, man.
This guy.
These motherfuckers gonna hate us, man. Shit. Anyways, moving along.
Like the fact that all 3 of y'all were like,
Well, I mean,
I should have let y'all go to work tomorrow and go, you know Mulan stands for dragon lady?
I went up first.
Did you know that?
Yeah, where I work, no one's gonna care where I work.
You say too many things that are really questionable. Like, let me think of myself.
Stupid. All right, man. Thank you.
Totally. I'd be like, that one English thing I got, but like,
long full rent.
Nigga be like,
Mandarin.
What?
What is this? Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's nowhere close to Mulan.
Oh, in Mandarin? All right, cool. All right, Thomas, go ahead. I mean, yeah, go ahead, Mr. Thomas. Let's go ahead and finish this shit, man. Please finish this shit.
Mulan, dragon lady, translated from.
Nah, I can't stand you. Can somebody mute him or what?
I think I could. No, but all right, go ahead, man.
All right, so I have a little discussion.
Uh-oh.
What makes a good fighting game for y'all? Like, that's what I want to find out. Like,
we doing this?
Yeah, that's what we're gonna do. I want to go in because we had that discussion in the group chat. I want to find out what makes a good fighting game.
I've been in the group chat.
I think everybody got something different. So, starting off with mechanics. Fighting mechanics.
That's the thing, everyone has their own personal preference of what makes a good, good fighting game. Like, what's y'all like? Starting with James, what's your number? Your number one's mechanics.
My number one's mechanics, but I like the diversity of the characters too. So the mechanics, meaning like the way the fighting style of the characters are different, and the playability of being able to learn how to fight with them. Like, I don't like it overly complicated.
Okay. Simplify mechanics, good character roster. How about you, King?
I'm not gonna lie to you. Mine's gonna be nostalgia. I haven't bought any new fighting games outside of Street Fighter.
Hey, that's a solid reason.
That's why Street Fighter is still relevant, is because of nostalgia. Otherwise, it's the same.
Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat.
Yeah. Killer Instincts. Killer Instincts gotten. I never played recent Killer Instincts either. I just thought about that.
Hold on, there's a recent Killer Instinct
for Xbox.
Xbox.
Yeah, they got one.
Really?
Yeah, they trying to make it come back. I see a bunch of hashtags coming up. KI, where's KI or some shit like that. They did the same with Marvel vs. Capcom, and now nobody wants to talk about Marvel vs. Capcom after that latest installment. But yeah,
you know why? Because Marvel vs. Capcom came out and then Dragon Ball ate its lunch. Just think about it.
And I won't disagree with you on that because that most latest
came in there.
That
Like,
latest,
that's how you do it.
Nah, that latest rendition for Marvel vs. Capcom wasn't it. But presentation. It's all about presentation for me.
Can you clarify on
Elaborate. Okay.
Yeah, elaborate.
And I know I kind of have an idea where this discussion is going to go, but I'm not going to take this away from you, Thomas.
Hey, no, this is one. That's one. Let it go.
Personally, I'm a fan of 2D fighting games where it's two-dimensional, 2D, where you have two characters.
That's what it stood for.
Yeah,
didn't know.
I'm telling you, man. I could write it down. I'll send you a text. But yeah, it's pretty much just two characters on the screen. We don't need to add anything else. Just two characters on the screen going back and forth. When it comes, I love technical fighters too. We talked about Guilty Gear in here before. I like combo strings where you need to work for it. I like jugglers. I like juggling my characters in the sky. I'm not any good at it, or at least I don't think so. But I enjoy it. I enjoy the presentation. I enjoy the fluid aspect
fluidity.
Fluidity. Thank you. Of how fighting games present itself. So that's my thing.
So yeah, that I'm in the camp of I like a variety of fighting games. My biggest thing that gets me is the same as James. It's more the roster. If your roster gets me hooked, I'm buying it. One Punch Man, a hero nobody knows. Terrible game.
And I'm not split on this. Like this only one. Like you can have Kai Kisuke in a game or fucking Sin from Guilty Gear in a game. But if it's 3D and it looks and all I have to do is press a fucking button the whole damn time, just one button for a combo string. Oh no, I'm good, bro. I'm not buying.
No, that's no. I don't like say like we were talking about earlier that new Demon Slayer game coming out. It's by Cyber Connect, and if that's anything like that Naruto Ultimate Ninja Storm series, bruh.
Could be pretty good, right?
Yeah,
bro, it is. Like it's the same backdrop. The character that I don't know if you guys seen the trailer, but the same. I'm sorry to cut you off, Thomas, but it makes me a little upset. It's that background, that stage for that demonstration, that demo is exact same of Naruto, bro.
No, it's not.
It's the exact same.
No, it's not. I played every last one of them.
Oh my god, bro!
No, it's not.
It's a carbon copy. They copy paste certain things of Naruto on Ninja Storm and put it with Demon Slayer, which is a great series, great franchise.
See, one of the things I like about those fighters are people who think they're simple. If I could run 80 wins to 0 against someone, game's not that simple.
First of all, if you're running 80 wins against somebody and they get no wins, they're trash.
But if it was simple, it should be more easier for it to balance out. It's all
right.
about
Like
strategy.
you should be able to go in there and button mash, and you like, yo, that's just like rookie's luck. Like that's what happened. But if you get like 80-0 against a rookie, this definitely got some type of combinations in there. Like let's think about Tekken and Street Fighter. I think Tekken has some complex combinations in there.
Hell yeah, it does. It's a 3D fighting game.
Yeah.
I see where you're coming from. That's very true.
But I also think that Mortal Kombat has those combo strings in it too, and it's also a 3D fighter.
No, Mortal Kombat is
2D. 2D. Well, some Mortal Kombat's were 3D fighters.
Some Mortal Kombat's.
Back in the day.
Okay.
Yeah.
But no, I think where fighting games is such a it could be somewhat of a frustrating conversation for me only because I know I'm nitpicking about it. And I'm not that good at fighting games. I know I'm not. But I enjoy the community. I've said it before. I enjoy the to learn to teach yourself how to play. I love that aspect of it. So when I see a 3D, and I brought this up before, where when I see a 3D game compared to a 2D, and I see the level of gratification I get from it, it's always been towards the 2D. Smash Brothers, Guilty Gear, Street Fighter, when Street Fighter 4, not 5. Even though 5 is looking kind of decent with some of the new presentations that they have for it. It looks kind of interesting.
I would say that Smash Brothers one that you just threw in there flabbergasted me.
It's a 2D fighter.
It's a button masher, isn't it? Almost.
It's the same. Like it's almost the same control scheme as Naruto.
And that's where I kind of have to take back some stuff. I think the button mashing combo string stuff, you can make something happen with that. And we've had the discussion before. One of the first fighting games that were 2D from Arc Systems was Persona 4 Arena, Ultimax Arena, where they allow you to button mash, but if you do that, you risk a lower percentage of damage. So you can do a combo string and find ways to enter your own combo where it could be an actual effective combo. So I get it. I see there could be not. No, I'm getting hype and I can't help it. I know that Naruto, Ninja Ultimate Storm, and shit like that. That could be a good example of where you can kind of make it more convoluted. But it's just I guess I don't like the running around. Like you could just keep running around. Motherfuckers could chase you with a super or whatever, and it just doesn't feel fluid enough for me.
I think that's because it's. I feel like Naruto is like has similar like those games like that one when done correctly, because when it's like a game like Jump Force.
Oh God,
I haven't played Jump Force yet. I haven't played it yet.
I haven't either. And
You said
I'm gonna
no?
go back to Tekken because that's what I know. That's what I know. Like when you sidestep somebody and then you're able to pull off a different combo string because you sidestepped them, like that's dope to me. Like, and I'm okay with 3D fighters because of that.
But see, Tekken is like it's technically almost you play Tekken on a 2D plane, and then you have the Z value every so like the Z move. You don't freely move left and right in like Z value wise. So it's like Tekken still fought on a 2D plane for most of the fight, and then you just kind of dodge,
just shift around,
dodge in, dodge out.
Okay,
but like
technically it's still a 3D fighter, but
yes, it's technically like depending on where you want to put it. Like some people say 3D fighter, and it just means the game's just 3D in general. But so it depends on the definition. But that's why I like going between like 2D and arena fighter, because Tekken is definitely not an arena.
2D fighter means 2-dimensional. 3D means 3-dimensional, right?
Yeah.
No.
So,
hold up, I'm about to show you an example.
that's why I like differentiating, saying like 2D compared to like arena.
Okay,
because, like,
I got what you're saying. Because like arena, you could run around the whole thing and just run around in a big circle. Okay, I get what you're saying.
But see, to me, that's like a chess match in itself if done correctly.
Right.
If done correctly, because like when I was like say it's like playing Naruto, I'm using Suma. I do smoke ash. I call it the smoke ash attack. Blind your screen.
Is that what you call it? Is that what it's called?
Is it like smoking ash or burning ash? Burning ash?
I
burning bush? Is that what it's called? Burning bush?
Shit.
when you blows up the cigarette smoke and it catches on fire.
Yeah, I got you.
You can use that as a smoke screen to set up your next attack. So when the person's like, oh, he went for this attack, really you weren't even going for that attack. You're just trying to get them to react. Then you hit them with an ultimate because they weren't paying attention. And 2 steps ahead, they're looking at the first step in front of them.
Okay.
So it's like the same thing with Street Fighter. It's a chess game if done correctly. One Punch Man, no. You get Saitama, punch him once, you won. But and same thing with Jump Force. Jump Force was first one to blink, loses. So
and that's kind of what happened with Marvel vs. Capcom 3 when it comes to partner. Like that's why I can't really. And even though it is a 2D, the way it's set up, that's why I think presentation, where I say presentation is a core value for me. And also with the character roster, I can understand that. But I think how you play the game is where it gets me. Where I'm like, okay, I want to learn this game.
Right.
See, I think that's why I put it with the mechanic over presentation. Because to me, presentation is more like.
I think mechanics is it too.
Yeah.
And you can kind of put that. Well, yeah, okay, all right. You can kind of put them in the same playing field, but I see what you're saying. Yeah,
it's like because that new I don't know the Japanese name of it. Someone's called it Demon Slayer, but I saw people kind of get in a little bit of a tiff over Demon Slayer being done by CyberConnect because people are looking like, oh, it's another arena fighter. I'm like, arena fighters sell like,
and they are, but that's
like, people like them and people are good at them. Like there's tournaments held.
I think the cheat code is what you guys are saying. Depending on the characters that are playing, like you guys are. Demon Slayer is a popular anime. Naruto was a popular anime. These are popular big franchises that are being exposed in a fighting game. Oh hell yeah, I want to play as whatever the guy's name is. I forgot his name. The one with the water sword. Damn. Tanjiro. Damn, I want to play as Tanjiro or his sister Nezuko. Like fuck it, let's get them on.
You want to play as a sister. I knew it.
Have you seen her moveset?
I knew it.
Oh, so you've been paying attention.
Yeah, she's nice. What are you talking about?
Okay.
Hey, don't call FBI on me. I'm good, bro. I'm not. I'm going to play this game just to see how it is. Just like the same I did with Naruto. I couldn't get into the game. Naruto's fun to play after the first 20 minutes, and then I'm like, all right, I'm good. No more for me. You guys gotta have this game back.
That's the thing. Like for me, like Naruto and like those games like that. Well, any fighting game also like a big major fact is, are people playing it? Like, do you have someone to play against? Like
Demon Slayer, bro. There's gonna be a bunch of people about to play this game.
I think it is, and depending on how the net code goes, depends on how many people I can play against. Like if the net code's terrible, it means I'm going to play against the people who are around me, and how well it's going to sell around me.
Right.
So
that's also true because
Yeah,
online,
that's,
that's where it is right now, especially right now.
That's why I think the whole point of like everybody playing Street Fighter is it's just like one of those ones that has nostalgia from the past, and people just like, who do I get to play? Like, who's playing? Otherwise, I don't know if people will really play the game. But you know, I'm into fighters, but at the same time, I look at it like, oh, they just remade the same game again, and they changed a little bit about the mechanics, but it's the same game, and I get a different skin. Okay,
see, that's the hard thing.
If they're gonna finally introduce the character, oh great, they finally introduced the character. That's how I feel about it.
It's like the hard
You
thing.
make it sound so bad, James. You make it sound so bad.
That's why I feel. That's why I don't own the game because of that. But,
You know, because you know, someone's going to run that beta for Guilty Gear. You know, that's,
Oh boy,
you know, so someone's going to be in that. You know, I'm trying to win. And
that's the thing. I guess that's more of the competitive side of me where I don't want it to feel like I'm getting these wins so easily. Like, and we could go back to, you know, the certain string combos and stuff. Like, you can find ways to make it more convoluted, more complicated, where it gets to the point where you've mastered this, and now you have to try to find a way to beat me without button mashing. So, and I get that aspect of learning your player and utilizing them to the best of their ability, or whatever characters else you use as well. But I don't know, man. I think just the arena shit is just not really for me. It's more just a story mode thing for me. I would get it for. I wouldn't play it competitively.
I got one question for all of you guys. Did y'all like Injustice? Is that what the name of it was?
I couldn't get into it.
Oh, Injustice.
That was pretty good.
I heard it was a good story. I need to play it for the story. I heard the story is phenomenal.
Yeah.
Like
it's
one of the best.
It's like that Mortal Kombat mechanic, and I can't really get into it.
That was my only thing. I heard it was like well, I watched Injustice 1 story. They said that, like, Injustice's story is like the top fighting game story out there.
Wow.
So it's like it's like a DC comic book, but come to life.
It really
Yeah,
is.
they
It's not,
actually
bad,
have a
it's,
comic
not, it's not a
book.
bad storyline. It's good.
Yeah, they have an actual comic book for it. I know.
Mhm.
I've heard they got an actual string.
Yeah.
Arc or whatever.
I need to play it. I think it was free too, like twice. I think I got both of them for free somehow. So you know, I got to really.
So pretty much your whole point of this discussion was more of a stance of how we feel.
No, it was just
fighters.
like everyone, you know, what drives them to get fighting games. You know, like this year, also to bring it in, you know, like this year, there's a lot of different fighting games coming out, and like it's like a resurgence.
Yes.
I'm a fan of. Like, you know, a lot of people thought we were going to be seeing the next Capcom fighting game, but we're probably not going to see it until 2022. It might get announced this year, but we won't see it until 2022 because they got, you know, Street Fighter got another season starting the 25th.
I think so. Something right there.
Yeah, 25th this month, bar.
Oh,
no, the best Psycho master of them all stepping out there.
Bro, yeah, I'm waiting for her.
But yeah, so you got that. Because then we have like the Guilty Gear beta dropping
I can't
Friday
wait.
for us. And like I think
my
tomorrow
chick.
if you pre-ordered it. So it's gonna be
No, it's actually today. If you pre-order, you can play it today. I mean, depending on what part of the world you're in, yeah, time code and all that.
Yeah.
I was on YouTube and already. I've already seen a bunch of these fighter YouTubers, like they're already playing it.
They've been playing since Monday.
Yeah. Oh shit. Okay, so they must have
I've been watching.
That's right.
Yeah, the press people who got like press status, they got their code way early.
Fuck that press status.
Yo, man.
We can get that press status one day. Just saying.
Hey, we gotta keep moving. All right, but I think we're good, man. Thank you, y'all. Oh man, I'm tired, y'all. I'm not gonna even lie to y'all. I'm so ready to go to my bed. I'm so fucking tired.
So you said we gotta talk about another
apologize.
topic. Got it.
Oh yeah, I
Not
do.
at all.
That new Nintendo Direct that came out today. Let's talk about that right quick.
No, man. Save it for next week, damn it.
We'll talk about that next week. It's gonna be old news by next week.
No, it won't. All right, man. Fellas, once again, man, another Media Marauders moment. Thank you so much for visiting. Coming back, being host, and continuing to come back and showing y'all's faces and talking and telling us what you enjoy in this world. And for the viewers and the subscribers, everyone, you guys keep coming back. We appreciate the love, the comments, the likes, all that
All
shit.
6 of you.
Yes, all 7, all 5, 6, 7, whatever. The numbers don't mean shit. It's the stuff that the ones that keep coming back are the ones that we appreciate.
Yo, if we get 10 comments, Max says he's gonna streak. Wherever
No one wants to see that.
10 comments.
It ain't gonna be on camera.
10 comments.
That's what the only
police report.
Stupid, man. No, man. Yo, once again, please click like and subscribe. Don't forget that bell on the side for all Media Marauders content, everything we do. Check out our Twitter, check out our Facebook. Just check us out. Put Media Marauders in some kind of search bar. You'll find us. We're there. So once again, everybody, please be safe. Corona's still out there. Please be safe out there in this world. People, don't be hard-headed. Stay home if you must. And to you guys, please have a good night. Please have a good night.
All right, guys.
Y'all take it easy. Y'all have a good night. Peace. Oh, man.
It ain't no cocaine talk.